What is going on, everyone? The Philadelphia Eagles lose at home, and it was disgusting! I woke up this morning and I was sitting in front of my toilet and my mouth was watering. I felt like I was gonna throw up, and I don't even believe in sickness. But the Eagles did that to me. They lose 27-24. I can't believe they put on a performance like that. Sloppy. No one wanted to step up. No one wanted to catch the football. I mean, that's what you do in this damn sport when you are a receiver. I am here with Dan. Dan, how do you feel about this loss? Your initial reaction to this gut-wrenching loss.
It's overreaction Monday for the entire city of Philadelphia. I am calling out two people. Doug Peterson is at the top of my list right now because these first half slow starts have been an ongoing trend now. And we're at a point where we can't stop looking past it anymore. We have to start scoring more points early in games. We need to start punching in these first drives where we're getting all the way down to the 30, 40-yard lines. Field goals on the first drive aren't cutting it anymore. The other person or people I'm calling out is Carson Wentz's supporting cast. I am full-blown Carson Wentz apologist so far through this season. Not everyone agrees with me there. I would say the majority does, though, so we're not going to hang up on that one too much. Doug Peterson is my biggest overreaction for this Monday, especially with these slow starts and the run game. I don't know about you, bros, but the run game has been lacking creativity. We said it last week. I felt like we got more of it yesterday. People are saying we're not running the ball enough. We're not running the ball enough because when we do run the ball, it's not nearly as effective as it was the Super Bowl season. That's the biggest thing with this offense so far for me. How about you?
I agree. I definitely agree. See, in my preview video to the Eagles-Lions, I stated I want to see Darren Sproles and Miles Sanders out of the backfield more, and I meant in terms of receiving the football. And you even saw that. Like, it worked. Miles Sanders, he had a horrendous day. He fumbled and all and whatnot, but in terms of catching the ball and being a receiver out of the backfield, it was solid. Like, he did a good job, and I wanted to see that more. I was a little disappointed I didn't see that more, but in terms of running the ball, after you are seeing what happened, like if Doug Peterson's on the sidelines and he sees the dumpster fire that happened with Miles Sanders and whatnot, to not go back to Jordan Howard, who actually looked solid when he had the ball and we went on a drive where we scored, I don't get the logic there. You see Miles Sanders struggle. You don't go back to what worked. Now, it's not like Jordan Howard had this amazing Todd Gurley, Zeke type day, but what you saw was a guy who was hitting his holes, running hard, lowering his shoulder at times.
Falling
you got to go back to that. Yes.
A lot.
The only time Miles Sanders went forward was when he fumbled and the ball went forward. But I'm pissed. But by the way, before we dive into this a little bit deeper, I just want to say, if you are listening on the podcast version on the apps, make sure you leave a nice 5-star rating and a comment, because that's nice. That's nice. But anyway, go ahead. More of your thoughts.
Well, let's just keep diving a little bit in on these running backs and the whole running game situation. The weird part with Miles Sanders yesterday, though, was that until he fumbled, he actually did look good. The fumbles were just so bad. They were bad. They were like get off the field bad, which is what you're getting at with the Jordan Howard situation. Got in the end zone that one drive, falling forward, finding yards on a couple of plays where he didn't really have anywhere to go. Offensive line has also been an issue so far this year, in my opinion. They've had their moments, but they haven't been nearly as consistent as usual.
Did you see that video on Twitter?
Of them giving all 5 stops?
It was a 3-man rush! A 3-man rush, and all 5 linemen just stopped. Absolutely stopped. If that's going to be played, I mean, not if. When that gets played in film, I expect them to get their heads cut off by the coaching staff. And speaking of heads getting cut off, Miles Sanders' head should have been ripped off with that face mask penalty that didn't get called. Dude, I punched the couch. First off, I'm sitting there having a couple cold ones, watching with Kara, and I literally said, with my arms crossed, it was unbelievable. It was a terrible moment that this happened because I said, I feel like I'm getting a little bit better with my emotions in this team. Okay. Literally, I just said that comment. I used to be crazier, I'd spit at the TV, I'd be throwing punches, I'd be pacing. I feel like I'm calm now with this team. The face mask happened. Are you kidding me? Dude, I was like,
he could have
punching
died.
punching the floor, swinging at the couch. My knuckles hurt after I thought I broke my hand. I got that pissed off 3 minutes after I said that. But it's not because of the fact that it wasn't called. Well, yeah, it was. But it's just the fact that in the NFL today, you can just tap a quarterback and you get 15 yards.
Yep.
And this guy's head was facing the other way, and you're not giving us a flag. Your job is to watch the football. No, like what else can you be looking at?
That it may be the most dangerous type of play you'll see in a football game. Because there's nothing you can do to protect your neck in that situation other than trying to contort your body, which his momentum was going in the complete opposite direction. He could have been seriously injured on that play. And the league, I think, has to look at it.
Apparently. I forget.
Yeah, I'm talking about they need to look into the refs.
No. I'm saying apparently.
I don't understand why that type of thing isn't easily like reviewable, or like they can't fix their mistake in the moment in a situation like that. But we'll spend 15 minutes on a tacky review that has a petty play call as a result. It's infuriating to me.
No, but what I was saying was apparently this is the same refereeing crew that missed the NFC Championship game.
Is it? I didn't know that.
I don't know where I saw that ad, so don't quote me.
I didn't read that.
I heard someone
I'm quoting you
saying
on that, but I didn't read it.
Damn it. All right, let's take that back. Can we cut this podcast off? No. But you mentioned the Carson thing and not wanting to dive in. I just put up a tweet before we started this podcast. It was a picture of me looking out into the distance and saying, I just realized something. I will no longer read my comments or mentions after an Eagles loss in regards to Carson Wentz. Like, I just won't do it. Because there are so many people that have such a flawed mindset about Carson Wentz. I'm done with it. I know it's going to be the hottest discussion throughout the Eagles season and everything that happened with Nick Foles. It's never going to die with Carson Wentz. But I can't value your opinion if you don't realize the actual problem. You know what I mean? Like, did Carson Wentz have the greatest game? No. Did he miss some reads? Absolutely. That's football. And my argument is, he's not Drew Brees, he's not Aaron Rodgers, he's not Tom Brady, but he's a good quarterback in this league, an above-average quarterback in this league. You can put him in the tier right below those guys, which is good enough to be successful and have a good team. You need to realize that there will be missed opportunities. That's just the nature of the beast.
Yes.
But he's a very, very good quarterback, and he gets way too much criticism. He really does.
100%. There has been a football in each of the last two games leave his hand with a minute and a half or less on the clock that would have been a touchdown to give us the lead, and they were dropped. Over and over again, it's happened. And just a 2-week window, it feels like it's happened so much. And I hate doing this. I hate looking at one or two plays in a football game and saying, oh, well, what if? Because you can do that throughout the whole game. But just blatant drops on perfect passes in the closing minutes of one-score games is just, you can't not look at it. He's throwing dimes in the closing minutes of these football games. If Alshon and Deshaun are on the field, we probably win these games. We're 2 or 3 drop balls from being 3-0. I understand we're also a couple bounces away from being 0-3. You can look at it either way. But it's just, these are blatant drop. That ball to JJ Arcega-Whiteside at the end of that game yesterday was, I felt like I got punched in the stomach when they showed the replay. It was untouched. The DB completely misread the ball. It hit him square in the chest, bros.
You want to know the worst part about it? When you drafted JJ Arcega-Whiteside, that play was what his strong suit was. He's able to use his hands. He's got big, he can go up and get the ball. He can box people out, go up and grab it. He's not the fastest guy, which we have seen because he can't get much separation. But that play right there, that moment where he can go up and really catch the ball in that moment, that's what we drafted him for. And he couldn't execute. And that goes on another topic with Nelson Agholor. Like, listen, the guy gets 2 touchdowns, whoop-de-damn-do. I'm done with this garbage because he's dropping the ball again. And who knocked that ball out? Did anyone actually touch the ball to knock it out? Or did it just fall out of his hands? I don't even remember. But that's just how his
it wasn't touched.
Yeah, but come on. I mean, I don't care about your 2 touchdowns. He takes 5 steps forward, and then he takes 3 steps back. And oh, my Lord, it's terrible. What do we do with this guy? He's a mental midget. I hate to say it, but he is, and it's not going to get any better. He's at the point now where you thought with the Super Bowl year, wow, he put it past him. He put those rookie struggles past him where he dropped the ball out of the time. It's getting worse now. We're going back. We're backtracking. So I don't know what to do with Nelson Agholor. There's so many issues. This
Yep.
defensive pressure, Fletcher Cox, nothing. Carson Wentz had 2 tackles. Dan, I'm pissed off right now if you cut it down. 2 tackles. Our punter had a tackle. Where are the defensive linemen? Where are they?
Wow. It's incredible when you list it off. We had 7 drops, 3 fumbles, 3 offensive pass interference. Our quarterback did not throw an interception, and he had 2 tackles. This is incredible. How did we get here?
We are just duplicating last season. All right. And I said this to you off the air before we started recording, but it is the truth. Like, I love Doug Peterson. I think we can both agree on that. We spoke about this before. But there is an issue with how we start the seasons, and I mentioned this to one of my buddies, and his response is, the Patriots do it every year. We are not the Patriots, and that's where we need to switch this mindset. We won the Super Bowl, and then it was dynasty, dynasty, dynasty. That's what we all said. No, that's not the truth. We are a good NFL football team. We are a good team. I'm not denying that, but we are not a dynasty. We are not elite. We are a good team. We are what the Denver Broncos were when they won a Super Bowl. We're in the same category as the Baltimore Ravens. We won a Super Bowl. That's great. You can't take it away from us. We are not the Patriots. So that needs to change with Doug Peterson, though. We can't continue to do this. There's no doubt in my mind this team's going to fight to the end. I know his culture. I know what he brings. We're going to be battling until week 17 and find a way to sneak into the playoffs, and then we're all going to be happy. But we need to start dialing in early in the season. And you even mentioned not just in the season, but in games. And we need to fix this.
Absolutely. We need to be if we're ever going to fulfill that potential that the core of this team has of being that dynasty type team, you have to win these type of games early in the season. You look, I think it's 6 years running. I think last year when the Rams won in New Orleans in the playoffs, that was the first time in, I believe, 6 seasons is what I remember reading, that the number 1 seed in each conference lost. 5 years in a row, the number 1 seed in both conferences lost. You need home field advantage in football. You need to win your home games in the regular season. If you want to win championships, and that is the difference between this being a good football team and taking it to a great football team, you need to have home field advantage in the playoffs. You need to be consistent throughout the regular season. You need to beat the teams that you're supposed to beat, especially at home. And you can't beat yourself. It's games like this. It's not like we truly didn't get outplayed by the Detroit Lions. They didn't come in here and stomp us. They didn't come here and make us look bad. We made ourselves look bad. We missed the plays.
6 points off those turnovers.
Routine plays that good teams just don't make.
Correct. And they only scored, they had 2 field goals on those turnovers. As much as we rip apart the defense, was that the problem? No. How about the special teams, though? I mean, really, you talked about slow starts. I thought we did pretty decent in the first quarter because we had flow to the offense. We ended up getting a field goal, then we scored a touchdown and all. We had good flow with the offense, but we take a 3-0 lead, and instantly we allow a kickoff return? Dude, this is 2019. That shit doesn't happen. Like, that doesn't happen in 2019.
I watched us kick the field goal, and then I switched over to red zone for the commercial, and I didn't make it back in time for the kickoff, and red zone went to Philly, and I was like, what?
That's funny you say that because I came home from the radio station. I walked in and I was upstairs saying hi to Kara and whatnot, everyone who was here, and I said, all right, I'm going down the basement because I need my environment. I need my football environment. So I go down the basement, and as soon as I turn the TV on, they're showing the replay. So I actually made up. You got to be kidding me!
Yeah, Scott Hansen informed me of the kick return. See, unfortunately,
this is the thing though. As much as I just ripped apart the fact that we start out slow and we're just a good team, why do I have a gut feeling we're going to win on Thursday?
Because we're going to be playing desperate football.
Desperate football, and this is how the NFL works. You lose games that you think you're going to win, and then you win games that you think you're going to lose. Like that's how it works, right?
Yeah, like who beats Aaron Rodgers in Lambeau on Thursday Night Football coming off a home loss to the Detroit Lions? Literally no one, but this is exactly the type of game that puts people in debt gambling sports. I'm just saying.
I don't want to dive into that. Well, speaking of, dude, I had a brutal weekend in college football, but let's not go into my financial life here because that wouldn't be good.
Use code BRODES and SeatGeek for $20 off your order.
Please, I beg of you. No, but I want to get your take on Jim Schwartz because I had more praise in him last week. You didn't have as much praise. This is what he is relying to, though. He is so desperate that he is just sending the damn house, dude. And we've been begging for this guy to bring the blitz forever. And at this point, that's all he has left, because
Yeah.
this is the problem. If you don't bring the blitz, Matt Stafford had so much time to just pick apart the corners because Sidney Jones is going to get beat. We know Ronald Darby is going to get beat. So you can't just rely on them.
Yeah. Well, last week, my only critique last week was how far off of Julio we were when we were blitzing 8 and they only needed 3 yards. That was like I was just really confused by that one coverage call on Julio on that long touchdown. But like you just kind of hinted at it. Like we're setting the house now. We blitzed a lot yesterday. The 4-man rush isn't getting home. If the 4-man rush doesn't get home for this football team, I don't know if there's any type of play call adjustments that's going to really change anything. Because we seen it yesterday. You start sending guys, we get beat in coverage. We don't have Jalen Ramsey right now.
I don't think we will either.
I don't think so either. But we send more than 4, we get beat on the back end. We send 4, we don't get pressure, we end up getting beat on the back end anyway. So it's like I don't know how much I can even put on Jim Schwartz at this point, just because the front's not performing. Quite frankly, we're not getting home. Is that Jim Schwartz?
Man. No, I'm saying
I don't like. I'm not really set on my. I don't know. I'm not sure what side of the fence I'm on here with Jim Schwartz yet, because I feel like the players aren't playing right now.
Correct. His scheme works. We've seen it work. You just don't have the talent. But we can look at Howie Roseman. I hate how Howie can never get criticized. I got ripped apart, literally ripped into shreds when I mentioned I was mad at Howie Roseman for trading Michael Bennett. I thought that was a trash move to send him to the Patriots for, what, a 5th rounder? Yeah. That was an awful move. And I know Malik Jackson got hurt, and I know Tim Jernigan got hurt. So now we're playing with Hassan Ridgeway, and we're playing with other guys. But you let Michael Bennett leave, you let Chris Long walk and whatnot, and tell him that his minutes are going to get restricted, which led him to retire. Should Howie get some criticism for not building this the way that it should be? Injuries play a factor, though, right? So
absolutely. But, and I'm trying to stay off of that today because, like, we're sitting here 1-2, and you already had people ripping us last week saying we were making excuses. The injuries to this football team are in detrimental positions that are affecting play calling, and it's affecting everything.
But you know what? You say that, and yes, but we lost to the Lions at home.
This is why I tried not to even bother talking about it. Because these still good football teams, like I said earlier, still find a way to win this game at home. That's why you can't.
Like I thought Matt Collins had a pretty decent game until the end where he started dropping passes. Like he's a 5th receiver, right? So if that's your 5th receiver, okay, like that's your 5th receiver for a reason. He wouldn't normally play. He's not a bad 5th receiver. And I thought he made some catches, and he's reliable at times. But he did drop that one bobble for a 1st down.
Yep.
And Dallas Goedert, oh my Lord. I know he's playing banged up, and we ended up scoring anyway. But here's what bothers me. Everyone says Carson Wentz had 2 possessions to make it happen, and he didn't happen.
He did. He did make it happen.
I don't think you can look at that with such a broad. Yeah, exactly. Like
I will have this argument with anyone. He threw a touchdown pass on both drives. They were dropped. I don't want to hear it.
I know.
He literally threw a touchdown pass on both drives. I know. What else do you want him to do if they drop the ball? We're talking about football. He threw the ball. It hit someone in the hands in the end zone, and they dropped it. 1 + 1 = 2.
You're talking about the JJ one and then the Nelson Agholor one in the Falcons. I'm talking about in this specific game.
Dallas Goedert!
Listen. Let's talk about Doug Peterson right now. Because he went for it, he went for it on 4th and 8 on our 22 with 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning. We ended up getting the blocked field goal, which was nuts. Did you see the Malcolm Jenkins replay, by the way? Because it would have been in field goal territory, but they called the block in the back, which the runner just stopped and made Malcolm run into him, which is terrible call.
It was a really bad call.
It was a terrible call. That would have put us in field goal territory instantly. We would have already been in field goal territory. It moves us back to somewhere along the 45th yard line, which screwed us. But do you agree with Doug Peterson's aggressive play call there to go for it on 4th and 8 on your 22, or should he have punted it and played the other way?
I was saying go for it.
Yeah?
I was because part of me just knew Doug was going to go for it. And just, I don't know, man. I can't guarantee I'm going to get the ball back the way my defense has been playing. And I understand that the offense isn't clicking either, but it was a tough situation. I was saying go for it.
Yeah, Doug wants to put the ball in his offensive hands late. Think about it. If we punted it away, are we trusting this defense to get home and create the turnover? Probably not.
No, that's why I was saying go for it. Just based off how the defense played yesterday is the only reason I was going for it.
It's tough. I mean, that leans towards probably one of like the most aggressive plays that you can make. Obviously, someone's going to say right now, well, what about the Philly special? No, that's not what I'm talking about. In terms of like the level of aggressiveness, that's kind of maybe forcing it a little bit. You can argue. I don't know if you saw the Browns game last night, that 4th and 9 draw play that they drew up, which was awful. You know, you can put it in comparison to maybe that. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a little harsh on Doug, but I thought it was crossing the line.
No, when we keep losing these tight games, that's what it is. You get criticism for these little decisions that may or may not have decided the football game. I mean, if you punt the ball away there with how much time's on the clock, timeouts, 2-minute warning situation, your defense steps up and does their job. You get the ball back in solid field position with, a minute and a half left, maybe a little bit more than that. So I understand the flip side of the coin on that. It's tough, man.
How about some injuries news? Like, for example, Barnett left the game and Andre Dillard went down. You had Jason Peters, but his was more of like maybe a dehydration thing.
Yeah,
he got IV shot up.
Yeah, it almost seemed like he was just taking a breather. Like he just needed a breather, which he's kind of at that point in his career, which is why it's also a big deal with Dillard being banged up. We need him to be healthy. Jason Peters could go down for the year at any moment, and he's taking little breaks. We need Dillard ready to go now. I know he's the future of the position. We're not using him every down right now, but he's got to be ready to play now.
Definitely. And I don't know how serious the injury was. He went down. It didn't seem like a casual walk-off, but here's my concern, dude. I think this Deshaun Jackson news is way worse than we might have expected. I heard someone say, well, it's good news he's not going to need surgery. What? I mean, I didn't even know it was going to be tested to the point where surgery might even an option. So I think he's going to be held out for way longer than we might have expected. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I hope I'm wrong.
Let me check
do a quick little update here. I know Doug Peterson speaks to the media in about a half hour from right now.
Okay, so by the time this podcast goes up, there will probably be information that we didn't know.
Yeah, probably. But I mean, listen, that's the nature of the beast.
Yep.
But all around,
who's 0-3 in the NFL right now?
Not the Eagles. I don't know why that would mean anything. Actually, I don't know. Terrible
just
logic there.
Looking at who may be willing.
Well, how about this? We have the same record as the New York Giants with Daniel Jones.
Like, how would you feel? What's Emmanuel Sanders' contract looking like?
So you're thinking about making a move?
Oh, if I'm Howie Roseman today, I'm looking for a wide receiver.
I can tell you his name. Jordan Matthews.
No, that's not the type of move
Jordan Matthews is an elite star when he comes back to Philly. He can't play anywhere else. He comes to Philadelphia, he's an elite star.
All right, so Deshaun's expected to miss 2 more weeks.
I'm not buying it.
I'm not buying it either.
That's what they stated before. They said they want him back by that Jets game. I'm telling you, it's going to be longer than that. I hope Alshon can even play on Thursday, but that might be pushing it. These guys just have to step up. They are capable of catching the ball, right? I mean, you would assume they're capable of watching the ball go into their hands and receiving it. Why are you making that face?
Emmanuel Sanders has a $12 million cap hit. No.
Okay. Hey, how are you? Yeah,
no.
exactly.
Okay.
Hey,
I'll do my scouting off podcast.
Yes. Well, listen, we need guys to step up. Like, this was our draft class, right? We were so pumped about Miles Sanders, who clearly isn't ready. We were pumped about JJ Arcega-Whiteside, clearly not ready. He can't get separation. So we literally overhyped the hell out of our draft class, and we overhyped this team. I hate to be that guy, and this isn't an overreaction. This is me taking a step back and realizing, like, okay, and I've stated this. We are a good football team. That's what we are. We are a good football team. We can't be screaming. We are a Super Bowl team. We're not. And I know it's September, and I know there's so much to play for, but the way this is going, we are going to duplicate what happened last year. We're going to be bad. We're going to struggle. We're going to find ways to win. We're going to fight. You're going to see this team claw and do everything they can. Man, I feel like Gabe Kapler right now. We're going to do all of that. And then we're going to, make the playoffs and maybe lose first round. Like, that's how I see this season going, already playing out this way.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And that's why if I'm Howie Roseman, although I'm not, I'm looking
Wait
for
a second.
something.
You're not Howie Roseman?
I'm not.
Jesus.
I know this may come as a surprise, but I'm not. But these depth guys on our team, they're not stepping up. The National Football League is the next man up league. These guys aren't stepping up. Like you said, Carson Wentz gets way too much criticism. I think football fans can sometimes be lazy and they automatically point at the quarterback and coach. Sometimes they have some blame to take in this situation. I think it's a lot more Doug, not Carson at all. The depth of skill position on this football team needs to be better. Nelson Agholor, I don't care if you score 2 touchdowns, 8 touchdowns. If you drop a first down to extend a drive when we're losing, you can't do it. JJ Arcega-Whiteside, you can't drop a touchdown pass with 40 seconds on the clock. Dallas Goedert, you can't drop a touchdown pass when you're wide open in the end zone. Can't do it. And at this point, we're 1-2. It's not a long season. We're not playing baseball here. You got to start winning football games. I'm looking to upgrade this football team if I can. Doesn't have to be anything drastic. If you can find somebody of an Emmanuel Sanders talent that's not $12 million on your books, I go out there and I try and make a move. There's always teams trying to get rid of pieces. I can't deal with this the way that it looks right now. I can't do it. I'm going to be in fantasy land until I have to watch them play again. Hopefully they pull out a W in Green Bay. But right now I'm just like, I'm kind of panicking, bros.
You are panicking?
I'm panicking because like you said, I'm pretty positive Deshaun Jackson's going to be out a little bit longer than we anticipated. Alshon Jeffrey, what is the update? Is he playing next week? Is he playing Thursday?
We don't know at this very moment.
That means he's not playing. All right, so we're not going to see him for a little bit. I can't do it. I can't.
See, this is why I'm not panicking, because I've changed my expectations.
No, that's lazy.
No, it's not lazy.
No, because
that's
when they
me
kick
realizing
off,
what we have is not as good as what we expected.
Bro, I know you. You treat the game like it's a Super Bowl as soon as they kick off. Don't give me this. I don't have expectations nonsense. You're throwing stuff at the TV like the rest of us. They need to get better now, or I am going to be in a panic.
I just mentioned it 3 times. I don't believe this team is good enough to win a Super Bowl. So why would I sit there and expect this team, which isn't good enough to win a Super Bowl, to win a Super Bowl? They're not. I just mentioned it 3 times. They are just a good football team. They're just a good football team. They're
you can
10-16. They're going to go to the playoffs. They're going to lose first round, maybe get to a second round after a wild card win. Like, that's what this team is. I can't expect a Super Bowl if that's not the talent they have. They don't have it.
When this team's healthy, I do think they could click to have it. I think there's enough on this roster when they're healthy. That they're not healthy right now, and I get that. That's why I say that I'm panicking. I do believe that when this team is completely healthy, like we've seen in week 1, you let them get some burn for a couple weeks, get some momentum into the back half of the season. I do think this roster is Super Bowl caliber.
Let me ask you this. What team is ever completely healthy? None.
But we're talking about number 1 and number 2 receiver, 2 starters on the defense line. We're not talking about a couple bang injuries here. We need 1 wide receiver to slide in the 2, or a tight end to slide in here. Or we need a rookie guard to slide in for a couple of snaps. We're talking about 4 or 5 starters in positions that blatantly affect like big moments in games. I can't get with you on that one.
No, I just know how this season's going to play out. We are going to witness the same exact thing as last year. It's week 3, and we are disgusted as fans, right? I mean, this is the same exact situation as last year. So it really is. It's going to be the same thing. And last year wasn't ever fun. Like, there was no fun moments in last year. The missed kick by the Bears, that was the best moment.
Our season ended on an Alshon Jeffrey drop.
Exactly. So there was no fun moments. And then it's going to be the same way. Like, unless we somehow go on a 5-6 game win streak with one of those being a 3-game road trip or whatnot, and we beat the Bills, who look good, by the way, defensively. So that's going to be fun going to Buffalo, the game we wrote off as a W, just like we did the same thing with this damn win. Right? Wrote it off as a W against the Lions. Yeah, how'd that work out? So it's just...
Well, the thing is, the Eagles are actually going to end the season on a 5 or 6 game winning streak.
Okay.
That's like without question.
All right, without question.
Without question. All they got to do is beat Dallas at home. And they win 5 straight to end the season.
All right. Here's my biggest fear. Are you ready to sit down and watch a Patriots-Cowboys Super Bowl?
You're drunk.
Dude, they did it. This is how sports works.
Stop it.
We got it, right? Like, Dallas fans had to watch that. It's only it's only justice will be served, right? That made no sense. But justice will be served when we need to watch that happen a couple years later.
No. I'm not saying that I'm not going to sit here and tell you that they absolutely won't. I need to see them beat someone that's not the butt crack of the NFL. Right?
Sure,
they have defeated the 3 worst teams in football. I need to see more before but
absolutely.
I will cry myself to sleep in pretty much all of February 2020 if they win the Super Bowl.
Yep. No, Overreaction Monday is a real thing here on today's podcast, but I don't think I'm with that statement of the Super Bowl. Yes, I'm being a jerk off. But in terms of what this team is, I don't think it's overreaction. I think I'm just evaluating what I've seen over the first 3 weeks, and I'm saying, okay, we expected a Super Bowl talent product. I've seen a Super Bowl talent product, not just the Eagles, all around the NFL. Like when teams win, I see what they have. This team doesn't have that right now, whether it's injuries, whether it's their depth guys aren't as good, whether it's catching the football, being able to do fundamentals. They don't have it right now. So that's where I stand. And
I agree with that. I have a higher ceiling on my expectations than you do, but we see it the same way right now.
Okay. All right. Well, with that being said, the Eagles do fall to the Lions. Quick turnaround. There's really no time to dwell. I mean, this team wakes up today and, hey, we got a football game on Thursday. You know, there's no dwelling with this.
In Lambeau against Rodgers, and he has a defense.
Yeah, he does have a defense, huh? Dude, for some reason, I love me some Aaron Rodgers, dude.
Same.
But he's just like bouncing on his toes in the pocket,
man,
right?
Dude.
Yeah, dude, he really is.
He's a bad dude.
He'll just fling that thing, and it'll fly right into the breadbasket of any receiver.
And they catch it.
Whoa, what? No.
They catch the ball.
Wow, they catch the ball, huh? Unbelievable.
Must be that spiral.
It must be. Hey, Carson doesn't know how to throw a spiral.
Apparently not. It's Carson's fault.
Apparently not. Well, let's make this clear.
52%. He threw 52% yesterday.
I don't want to end the podcast on this. He did miss some reads, right?
His worst pass was his first pass, and he missed like 2 or 3 reads.
He missed a couple reads, but was he good enough, and did he deliver the throw? He delivered the throw. So, with that being said, thank you guys so much for listening to this podcast. We will have another one this week with the short week. So that's nice. 2 podcasts from Broads and Howie Roseman on the same week. Oh, wait a second. You're not Howie Roseman. That's right. Who knew? The same guy who's trying to make trades here during the podcast.
We need a receiver bad. We need a receiver bad.
Oh, man. All right. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next time.